Okay, so you guys are going to have to bear with my super bare face. I'm about to start editing the video for this weekend, and I can't ignore the fact that there's basically a new genocide going on in Palestine right now. I do not support the deaths of any innocent lives, but you can't ignore the fact that Israel are terrorizing Gaza. It's one of those things that I feel torn to post a video when shit like this is going on, because it just feels wrong. It feels like I'm ignoring it. But I hope you know that that's not the case. On my other social medias, I've actually been quite outspoken about the fact that I want Palestine to be freed. I don't support what the fuck the UK government is doing or saying. I don't think a lot of people who have educated themselves on this matter do support. I wanted to say this before I get into the video because I know how devastating this time in our lives currently is, and sometimes we need a distraction. So I hope this video brings you a distraction, maybe something to laugh at or entertain you during this really, really fucking shitty time. I'm so sorry for everything that the Palestinians are going through right now. I do not for a second support Hamas, but I do not think that killing all the Palestinian people is an answer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyway.
I guess. So, today's video is another Predator video. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this about once a week. Too many Predators for me to get through in October, so I'm probably going to fall over into November. But hopefully if you guys like this, it won't bother you too much. Today, I'm going to be doing the... I know him, even though he doesn't say this line, I know as the Mommy and My Daddy Predator. But he's a Subway sandwich worker, if I remember rightly. It's going to be interesting. All right, let's go.
Not all the predators I catch are interested in young girls. Some, like this guy in the bright orange shorts, lust for young boys.
And some predators don't care what gender it is. There was it a Criminal Minds episode? But quite a few Criminal Minds episodes are actually based on real life criminal cases. Yes, they probably have a preference, but they don't care. They'll take any child. When will that door ever be fixed?
How you doing today?
And on this sunny autumn day,
My house is your house.
he's coming to meet a boy who he thinks just turned 13.
Now, I know some kids can... I mean, look at Finn Wolfhard from the age of like 12 to 16. He shot the fuck up. But he looks minimum 23 years old. What were they thinking with this actor? Seriously.
He's coming to meet a boy who he thinks just turned 13.
13! 13! They've had some pretty good actors in previous Tcaps. 13! You'd be lucky if he'd expect that guy's 18, let alone 13. Like, what? I can't believe they thought they were going to get away with that.
Want a water or something?
His name is Jesse Velez.
Jesse Velez. Let's have a look and see if there was anything prior. Okay, so 1 year prior to the arresting, he held the position of a store owner at Mobile Express in Bridgeport, Connecticut. During that time, the store experienced a break-in around midnight. Despite Velez having installed a motion detector, it strangely failed to function. Oh, possibly in on it. Either that or he forgot to turn it on the night before. While the thief was pilfering items, a police car with flashing lights passed by the store. Surprisingly, just 4 hours later, the same individual returned and successfully made off with over 24 smartphones and tablets worth $3,200 in total. However, this time the motion detector activated and alerted the authorities. That's weird. So motion detector wasn't on and then it was on, so that he definitely didn't forget to turn that off then, because it wouldn't have just turned on randomly.
He's engaged.
Don't you fucking hate when people who are engaged hit up other people? Because if you're engaged, especially if you're the one who asked the person to marry you, where do you get off talking to other people, especially sexually? Because you should be incredibly in love with that person. There was this Tcap sting in one of the earlier seasons, and the guy had literally been married like the day before or something. How? What's the point of fucking getting engaged or married if you're still looking at other people? Unless you've got an open marriage or an open engagement, obviously, that's fine. We're not fine to look, obviously, and talking to 13-year-old kids. But what I'm talking about is talking to other people in general. I would never understand that. What's the point of getting engaged? Is it just pressure?
And he's a general manager at a major sandwich shop chain.
Subway. Maybe that he got fired from the phone job because they suspected he was involved.
He's kind of nervous.
I wonder if he's nervous because he clearly isn't in a room with a 13-year-old and therefore assumes it might be a sting.
The Fairfield cops coordinate the sting operation with the predator watchdog group Tetrad Corps. Tetrad posted a pic of a real 13-year-old boy on social media.
How do they get consent? Do they have to ask the parents for consent? I still don't understand that. They never explain it. And I appreciate it's not like sexualized images of the 13-year-olds, but you're utilizing those photos to attract predators. Predators are going to see those photos of your children. That makes me uncomfortable. Not that I want kids, but I wouldn't want my kids used in that way. That's why a lot of people don't post photos of their children unless they're in like secured chats and things like that, because they will never post them online because they're so worried about predators getting a hold of them.
Within 20 minutes, Velez contacts the boy we're calling Jason.
20 minutes?
You okay that I'm younger?
Yes.
Like 13 years old younger? LOL?
Never chilled with a young guy before.
I would hope not. I would really hope not. This is a profile on Grindr, by the way. This is, as far as I'm aware, similar to Tinder, where it's literally just for hookups. I know Tinder wasn't originally for just hookups, but the reputation is it's for hookups. How are you going to hit up a 13-year-old on a website? Clearly weren't just going to hang out if you were on a hookup website scrolling for 13-year-olds.
Velez describes in graphic detail the sex acts he wants to perform.
He knew it was a 13-year-old and then tells graphic detail of what he wants to do. That is clear intent. I don't understand how they think they can get round this. Like, where? Within 20 minutes you said everything you want to do to fuck this kid. I hope he got a long fucking sentence.
He even sent a pic of his private parts.
I forgot about that. I'm surprised I didn't ask for one. Jesus, 20 minutes. Told him what he wants to do and sent him a dick pic, which I guarantee he didn't ask for. Why do people feel the need to send unsolicited dick pics? I will never understand. Genitals are not that pretty. Don't send them. Someone asks for it. You only need one. You don't need to send multiple. If they don't ask for it, don't send it.
But if that isn't shocking enough, what he asks for next will make you sick.
Come live with me, LOL.
What, come live with him and his fiancée? How'd that even come up in conversation?
How are you gonna explain a 12-year-old kid living with you?
I won't. No one won't find out.
That doesn't sound like a serial killer. What was that guy that had a young girl locked in his basement? Having the balls to say that out loud.
And ask the boy to send him nude photos.
He asked the kid to send nude photos. He asked the 13-year-old kid to send him nude photos of himself to this. So he was asking for child pornography. He was soliciting child pornography. Wait, what does the rest of this say? Not a good idea. Let's wait till he goes out of town. I don't want to get busted. Okay, sorry, he means blank. Come live with me. Laugh out loud. Yeah, right. Yes, you're kidding, right? No. How are you going to explain a 12-year-old kid living with you? I won't know and won't find out. I'll say I'm taking care of you, nothing sexual. Wink, as if to say it would be sexual. But if things get bad, it's good to know I've got a place to go. Yes, you do. Yeah, nothing sexual, lol. Send more pics of you. This predator appears, when you see him, to be one of the least vile. You would assume, if you saw him on the street, if you talked to him, that he wasn't a bad guy. That he could almost persuade you that he's not a bad guy. But when you really break down the context of the fact that he's asked for nude photos from the underage kid that he already knows is underage, he's told him all the sexual acts he wants to do to him. He's sent him a dick pic. He's offered for him inappropriately to live with him so that he can do as many sexual acts basically as he wants. I just don't understand how you rationalise this. This video has got nothing, 23 million, nothing close to what Jeff Sokol or John DuPay or anyone else like that has got it. But he is vile.
Velez doesn't know it, but there's no kid on the other end of the smartphone.
Thank fuck. Can you imagine? Can you imagine there actually being a 12, 13-year-old kid on the end of this where he sent a dick pic and like sexually told him what he wants to do and offered for them to live with him so that he can do those sexual things to him whenever and asked for nude photos in return? That child would be completely traumatized.
In our control room, Lori receives word that Velez wants to nail down a date.
I bet he does. It's only been 20 minutes.
He says, let's get lunch, my treat. I said, okay, when? He said, in a few.
So he wants to go out for lunch with a 13-year-old. How's that going to look? He can't even really get away with people assuming it's his. What are you doing?
She briefs our on-site decoy, a 19-year-old drama student.
honey, he doesn't look 19. He lied to you. This is like, you remember in Friends where Joey tried to play like someone in college or something?
Sup?
It's giving that.
You hungry?
Yeah, I'm fucking starving.
Where do you want to go? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not really hungry, I just ate.
Oh, so you don't want to go out with your 13-year-old on a lunch date anymore because he doesn't actually look 13? Does it put you off that he might be older? Is that not your type?
So you want to stay here? No, not really. You don't want to stay here? What do you want to do after? Hang out? No. Netflix? Chill?
Oh, all of a sudden it's no. What happened to the guy that wanted to do all these sexual things, this 13-year-old? What happened to him? He seems to have left the building.
This is going to be a weird question, but you have your ID on you.
For one thing, what fucking 13-year-old has ID? Second, why are you so worried about this kid's ID? Is it because you think you're going to get caught, or is it because you don't want this person to be older? Because surely it'd be better for you if they were 19, you know, of age. That'd be much better for you than hitting it off with a 13-year-old, I would have thought. But what do I know?
Who lives here? Who lives here? Oh, I live here. Me, my mommy, and my daddy.
How those improvisation classes going on? That is one of the really awful improvised lines. No shade to this actor. I'm not trying to be shitty to him or anything. Like, they put themselves in difficult positions, but like, I'm not even sure a 13-year-old would say that.
Uh-oh. Velez looks straight at one of our hidden cameras.
He likely probably didn't even know what he saw.
The decoy moves into distraction mode.
If this is what you call distraction mode.
Did you want to come look at this? This right here. This is my dad made this. Oh, he did? Yeah.
This reminds me of conversations I have on fucking dating apps where it's like, it's so hard to make conversation because nothing of real context is said where you can actually make conversation. Like, what was that?
Pretty cool. Want to come look at it?
He doesn't have the Chris Hansen effect to get the guy to come take a seat.
What Velez doesn't realize is that he's being moved into position for what will be the surprise of his life.
Hey, what's happening?
They cut that out. I would love to know what happened there. Maybe it was the guy realising or saying something along the lines of like, it's a sting operation. Or maybe like Tcap realised this isn't going well, Chris, just get out there. They don't normally cut out that interaction.
Nothing.
What was your plan today?
Nothing, actually. Just to hang out.
Those are some bright-ass fucking shorts.
Just to hang out?
Yeah.
With a 13-year-old boy?
Nods in affirmation. Yeah, he was disappointed when it was a 19-year-old fucking theatre kid.
You sent a picture of your private parts?
No, I didn't. I did?
Yes.
Ugh.
After you'd already said all these sexual fucking things to them too, so don't fucking play that bullshit.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's what they all say.
I was just chatting with him on and off for weeks.
Oh, so we're talking for weeks, but it was 20 minutes into creating the Grindr profile that he hit a 13-year-old up.
Yeah, I used to chat with like random people on and off. I'd hang out with them. No, nothing's really sexual, to be honest.
No one goes on Grindr just for mates. Unless Grindr has, a bit like Bumble, has like a friend option where you can literally just meet people who have similar interests so you can, you know, find friendships. Unless Grindr has that, which you clearly weren't on that setting. Yeah, no you weren't. Fucking liar.
Nothing sexual.
No.
Then what about all those sexual texts and him coming to live with you? What about that? You can't say every single one of those fucking text messages was a mistake. Oh, sorry, I sent it to the wrong person. All of them?
What's this?
Let me see.
I didn't even bother to print these ones out. It's all on the phone.
Oh my god, I did not know I even sent that. Ugh. Yeah, I did not know that.
Ew is right. Yeah, ew. Ew. You sent sexual stuff to a 13-year-old fucking kid. It is ew.
Ooh is right.
Yeah, usually when I send pictures, like I have a bunch of pictures of me.
Right.
So I must have hit that.
No one has their dick pics just out and about. You hide them. If you don't, what are you doing with your life?
But I didn't really know why.
So this was just one big mistake?
Yeah, I pretty much, yeah.
So you had a picture of yourself out and about town?
Because usually
driving a car?
Yeah, like usually
I hit the penis pic. Oh, by mistake I hit the penis pic.
Have you ever worried about that? I've always thought about that when guys send those sort of things. Unsolicited. Like, what happens if you accidentally send it to the wrong person? What if, like, you're talking to that person, someone else texts you, and then when you go to send it, you accidentally send it to the wrong person because that was the last person you talked to? I would have such anxiety.
I would even say, like, something afterwards, but I didn't even know I really sent that, to be honest.
What is for?
Honestly, I know it's for hookup.
Yes, it is for hookups. So why are you talking to a 13-year-old fucking kid on a hookup app? Seriously. If it's for nothing sexual.
But I'm not all for that. I don't just meet people randomly and just start having sex with random people. That's not what I do. I just like to have company with me.
If it was just about company, then why were you talking about sexual stuff constantly? If that was genuinely what it was, why were you constantly talking about sexual stuff? can't be both.
I never really had friends when I was younger.
Right.
So I like to hang out with people, you know, you can get to know them a little bit. You know, that's about it. You know, I meet people from either 13, 17, 18.
That's still inappropriate. I don't think you should be 28 talking to 17-year-olds. I know this was the first time talking to someone 13, apparently, in these messages. But why the fuck are you talking to someone who's 17? Again, not related to you. An app that's known for hookups as a friend. Why are you trying to be friends with a 17-year-old?
30, even to their 40.
Sure, go fuck 30 to 40-year-olds. That's absolutely fine. That's consensual as long as they agree to do it. That's consent. Don't do it with a 13-year-old. Don't send dick pics to a 13-year-old. Don't send sexual texts to a 13-year-old. Don't offer for a 13-year-old to come live with you.
Just to meet people and talk to them.
And how old are you?
I'm actually 27.
Not true. At the time of our confrontation, Velez had just turned 28.
I guarantee you just forgot. Majority of the time, I actually start calling myself my next age before I even get to that birthday. Like, for example, I will start saying I'm 34 and get into the mental headspace of being 34 before I even actually turn 34. But some people who don't celebrate their birthdays just forget. It was, you know, probably a few months, Chris. I don't think it's that big a deal.
But you see how this looks for you to come over and visit a 13-year-old boy after you sent him a picture.
What about all the other fucking messages? Why don't you ask him about those? Even if the photo was accidental. What about all the other ones? What about all those other text messages? What about offering for him to live with him? I'd love for you to ask about that.
Even when I came here, even when I parked there, I was just like, oh, this is... Even when I sat there, I was like, yeah, this person I ever did, like, met someone at someone's house.
This person might actually be older. Then I thought, oh, that, you know, that's a bit gross.
I felt kind of nervous when coming to a house. Could you just say it lets me at a public place so it's more safer for me?
Then what stopped you? Is it just because the kid was 13 years old and therefore it might be hard for them to get to a public place, or it might be weird that you're meeting a 13-year-old in a public place? You know, people might think you're creepy.
When I came, I actually turned and parked at that park for a while. I was like, I should not be going to this person's house.
But you did it.
Yeah, I did.
Why did you do it then?
It's the first time for me.
But you just said that you meet people 17 plus, so like, it's not the first time, is it? It might be the first time at a house, but then if you were that worried, why did you agree to go to the house? Just don't. Hit someone else up. I don't get it.
I never went to someone's house before.
You know, I hear that all the time.
Yeah, because predators are fucking liars.
Yeah.
It's my first time.
I'm sure.
And I doubt that all the people who tell me it's their first time are telling the truth.
This is honest to death.
Let's hope it was. It's impossible to know.
So you're the first honest guy I've ever found.
This is the first time.
Coming to visit a 13-year-old boy.
This is the first time I met a young person that age. It's the first time ever in history.
Why did you feel the need to do it now then? If that's true, why now? Why not any of the other people of age on the app? That was a fucking choice. I was like, oh, I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. You made a fucking choice. And you went down that road for weeks and then turned up at the fucking kid's house.
There's nothing sexual was going to happen anyway from the get-go.
After you sent him a picture.
And I didn't realize I sent that.
What about all the other sexual fucking texts?
Even when we were chatting, I never said, oh, hey, do you want to have sex?
No, but you asked him if he was top or bottom.
But if you were his parents, are you going to be comfortable?
I have a 16-year-old friend.
I thought you just said hadn't met anyone young. And all of a sudden, oh, I have a 16-year-old friend. You're 28. Why do you have a friend who's 16 unless it's fucking inappropriate? I hope the police looked into that because, like, that poor child. Oh my god.
That's a pretty big age gap.
It is. It is
at this stage.
But you know what? But there's nothing wrong with that.
There is a lot wrong with that. A lot wrong with that. It's inappropriate. What the fuck do you have to talk to with a 16-year-old when you're 28? You're a manager of a Subway store. Are you just giving him sandwiches? You shouldn't be friends.
Because to be honest, I have friends that are 16 to 30. We all hang out. No, there's no drugs involved.
16 through 30 and you all hang out. They all just normalise their behaviour so much. In America, I'm pretty sure you have to be 18. Like, UK, it's 16 is the age of consent for 16-year-olds to have sex with each other, but fucking some predators think it's okay to have sex with them. The point is, like, I'm pretty sure in most states in America it's 18 minimum. So, like, how is he normalising this language, this behaviour? A whole group of them take advantage of 16-year-olds. And there's no drugs involved. Like, we'll just take your word for that, shall we? Considering you started off saying that you didn't talk to young people before.
Obviously, I don't do any drugs. But we all just conversate. I mean, there's so many similarities from all different people. It doesn't matter about age, to me. You know, some people look at it as more like a pedophile thing.
I can't understand what he's trying to say, but it is a pedophile thing. That's all I'm going to say. Because he's just stumbling all over his fucking words, because it is a pedophile thing. There's a reason why there's a guy standing in front of you interviewing you right now. Because it's a pedophile thing.
I think that, but that's not what I am. You know, I don't go around looking for, 10-year-old, 13-year-old.
Chris literally doesn't even have to say anything. This guy is just word vomiting. You may not look for 13-year-olds, but you sure as shit hit them up.
Something told me don't walk through that door. I swear something told me do not
Why'd
do
you
that.
do it?
They all know better, apparently. Don't walk through the door. Is that because it was a 13-year-old, or was it because you just didn't want to get in trouble? You didn't want to traumatise a 13-year-old, or you just didn't want to get put in prison? Which one? I feel like it's more about you than it was about traumatising a fucking 13-year-old. You sure as shit apparently don't mind doing it to 16-year-olds.
I don't know. I wasn't going to walk through that door. I really wasn't. Thank you for this actual experience, actually, because it's pretty interesting, actually.
This isn't for your benefit. This is for everyone else's. They know that you're a creep and that you can be put on the sex offender registry. They can put you in prison for a number of years for soliciting nudes and sending sexual text messages and a dick pic to a 13-year-old.
Conversate, it's nothing really sexual out of the ordinary.
Nothing really sexual, meaning there will be at least some sexual nature to it. The way people phrase sentences, especially in situations like this, can be very telling. And nothing really sexual, if really wasn't there, nothing sexual, I still wouldn't have believed it, but nothing really sexual means there would have been some.
Do you live by yourself?
No, I live with my 3 dogs.
Is that another word for a fiance?
We've been running an investigation.
Okay.
Called Hansen versus Predator.
Okay.
And I'm Chris Hansen.
Okay.
He hates when people don't recognize him.
You've walked into it.
Okay.
So...
just surrounding him with cameras.
if there's anything else you want people to know...
I'm not,
You're not what, a pedophile? Because I beg to differ.
I'm not, I'll just see little kids. I'm not. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. Honestly. That's not who I am.
Then how comes you admitted to the fact that you have relationships with 16-year-olds with a group of people up to 30 all together? This isn't exactly out of the ordinary for you, is it?
That's not me.
I love how he's trying to cover his face. You've got cameras on both sides of you. That's not going to do shit for the other camera on the other side.
Can you take the cameras off me, please?
I can't at this point.
Can I leave?
You can leave right out there.
Okay. This is very awkward and very embarrassing for me.
It's always about them, isn't it? It's so always about them. It's so exhausting. Oh, it's embarrassing for you to be found out to have been talking and sending sexual messages and photos to a 13-year-old. Oh, it's really embarrassing for you. Oh, the poor predator.
I'll talk to you in private if you like.
I can't turn the cameras off.
I mean, I'll answer any questions for you, to be honest.
You were vomited everything we needed to know. You can fuck off now, thanks.
Because I'm not...
Well, you have.
Yeah, literally. You already answered the question, so you can go now. Go get arrested.
This is not what it seems to be. This is not what it was going to be.
Well, they've seen all the text messages. They know exactly what it was. You don't need to explain with your predator logic, thanks. You can go.
I want everyone to know that's actually seeing right now. It's not what it was. I'll have to hang out with somebody. Nothing sexual to that nature.
Why did you send sexual text messages if it wasn't fucking sexual? Shut up!
It may seem to other people it was, but to me it's not.
Just go!
Because if it was to that standard, I would have actually texted the guy, hey, let's meet and let's do this, let's do that. But it wasn't. I'm very, cordial with what I say. I'm very blunt.
How can you be cordial and blunt at the same time? I'm pretty sure those two don't go together.
Nothing sexual to that nature.
You keep saying that. It's a bit like when you said, oh, I don't do drugs. Lady doth protest too much.
To be honest, I can't learn my lesson right now. I'm not going to my house.
And what?
I'm not walking to no one's house ever again. This is the first and last time we're doing that.
That's not what the lesson is. The lesson is not, don't walk into a stranger's house, even though you should have known that from when you were a fucking kid anyway. But, the lesson is maybe don't solicit anything sexual from a 13-year-old. Anyone who cannot physically fucking give consent to you.
What's the lesson here, Jose?
The lesson here is don't walk into no one's house that you don't know who actually even lives there.
Not the lesson. Not even a little bit. They're not even a little bit self-aware.
Don't do the same thing to other people that you wouldn't want done to you.
You mean, if you were 13, you wouldn't want a 28-year-old asking for sexual photos from you and sending their dick pic to you, asking if you're top or bottom. Do you mean that? Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't ever do that with someone who can't consent.
But you did it, though.
When I came out, I was bored today.
If you were bored, you could have done anything else. Anything else! But for weeks, you've been talking to a 13-year-old, and you thought, hey, today's the day I'm going to go hang out with a 13-year-old, the one that I've been sending sexual text messages to, yeah, that one, I'm going to go hang out with that 13-year-old because I'm bored. Not because you probably thought, oh, well, a police investigation wouldn't wait weeks to catch me.
I didn't know what to do, so I figured hang out with some people.
How about watching football?
I'm not a sports person, believe it or not.
Go watch a movie. Ask one of your 30-year-old parent friends around to hang out. Or fuck, if that's what you really want to do. Don't hit up a 13-year-old and go to the house. Shouldn't need to be said.
Today was just a day that just, you know what, let's just go hang out tonight real quick. Let's hang out, you know, nothing sexual though. I'm not looking for that. I'm never ever doing this ever again. Let's walk to someone's house.
I appreciate it.
Nothing bad out of this.
That's what you think. 23 million fucking people now know exactly who and what you are. So, yeah, there's going to be something bad out of this.
Where's the exit?
Right there, straight ahead.
Chris covering his mouth, trying not to laugh.
Step over. Come on. We're with the police department. We'll explain everything to you right after chance. Get that. Give me your phone.
Ah, I mean, that was a fucking shot.
I'll explain everything in time, okay? Okay.
He really doesn't understand why he could possibly be under arrest. What is this? What do you mean you don't understand why you're under arrest?
Velez appears to be shocked that he was busted.
I don't think he thinks he's done anything wrong. I think that's why he's so shocked.
As they speed toward police headquarters, he's still trying to talk his way out of trouble.
I never even done it before.
Yeah, but once is enough, even if this was apparently your first time. But apparently you talk to 16-year-olds all the fucking time.
Velez is hauled into the station where he's booked, fingerprinted, and photographed.
This is crazy.
What's crazy is you sending sexual fucking things to a 13-year-old.
Oh, yeah. I'm done.
The way he sits there, you almost feel sorry for him because he looks like a wounded puppy dog, but you cannot forget what this guy wrote. What he thought was a 13-year-old child. He wanted them to move in with him. He explained all the sexual acts he wanted to do to him. He sent a dick pic and asked for nude photos in return. Cannot forget any of that. And the fact that he's admitted to having friends 16 and up to the age of 30, and that all of them as a group hang out together and apparently don't do drugs. Even if he doesn't do drugs, I guarantee someone's doing drugs there.
You know, you were just going there to make a friend and to hang out.
I really wasn't.
I'm going to question the veracity of that.
I know how it was. I was not going to his house to literally have sex with him in his house. I was not going to do that.
That day?
Ask him about the text messages. Do your job.
I meet with a lot of people on that website. Numerous people on that website will go hang out, and I actually still talk to people from that website that I actually made friends with. I don't have any friends.
That is not an excuse to talk to 13-year-olds and send them sexual photos and messages and then turn up at their fucking house. It's not an excuse and it's not an explanation.
I have no friends. Literally.
You have a fiance, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Your fiance's not your friend? The person I'm dating at the time always tends to be like very, very close to me. If not my best friend, especially when I've been dating them a long time. I think it's natural for them to become your best friend. So if you're engaged to someone, how are they not your friend? Like, do they not have any friends that you would have become friends with that you could have hung out with rather than a 13-year-old?
We don't see each other as much as we used to.
Okay.
I mean, he works a lot, I work a lot. I know some people look at me like, okay, you're going to this guy's house to have sex, aren't you? That's your whole intentions. No, it's not.
This guy, again, normalising the fact that this was a 13-year-old kid but trying to act as if this person was older. Normalisation language of, oh, this guy. Not kid, or this person. Guy.
I can hang out with a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No. No, you can't hang out with fucking 12-year-old or a 16... No. No. How do you normalise this? I don't understand.
The on-site decoy to Jesse looked a little older than 13.
No shit, Chris. Fucking hell. It didn't take a genius to realise that that person was not 13. I guarantee he wasn't even 19.
Individuals can access your children without you knowing about it and can share their most disgusting thoughts with your children. You'll never know it.
That's why it's better to have your children hate you for you limiting what they can do online than have them be at risk of predators. Let's have a look at these comments. So, there's no way you tried to pass that grown-ass man off as 13-year-old. Bro was uninterested when he realised dude clearly wasn't a kid. Yeah, it's kind of gross. To be fair, it's a lot harder to get male adult actors who look like teenagers. I mean, you're not wrong. That's why I mentioned about Finn Wolfhard. That 13-year-old child is the definition of, we're looking for 15 years work experience coming out of high school. Man, I hate it when I accidentally take pictures of my junk and then accidentally send them to minors. Don't drink and text, boys. It's so nice to see nursing homes citizens still able to get active roles. The way that 30-year-old man said my mummy and daddy was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oscar with the actor. This guy's especially dangerous because he's a very charismatic talker. He could easily manipulate a child into thinking they're comfortable with something they aren't. That's why I'm worried about a 16-year-old. I could tell he talks himself out of many situations before. He seems so sincere. He's obviously a good liar. Yeah, that's why he just word vomited constantly, because he knew that's how he's gotten out of this sort of shit before. When questioned by police, Velez broke down in tears and admitted that he had gone on Grindr and contacted someone he believed was underage. He admitted it. He insisted that he had no intention of engaging in any sexual activity and that they were simply going to hang out. But he sent those text messages. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Maybe he thought if he admitted to one part of it, he wouldn't get in trouble for the other. Aftermath. After his arrest, Velez was originally charged with 3 felony counts. In 2016, Velez made an apology post on his Facebook account, reading as follows. This is new. We haven't seen an apology notes app from a fucking predator. I don't know why life happens the way it does. Can we get a tiny violin? I know I've done some stupid shit and I'm paying for it big time. I don't want my friends to... I thought you didn't have any friends. To judge me in any way. But people can't understand I'm human. And I screwed up and I'm not that person I'm being portrayed to be. Then how comes you admitted the fact that you talk to 16-year-olds already? That you have friends that are 16-year-olds. This really bothers me a lot, to the point where I wonder why I'm alive. I lost some great friends and family members because of the poor choice I made. Consequences of your actions. People don't want to be friends with a predator. This sucks more than anything in the world. Sorry, so going to prison and being on the sex offender registry isn't the worst thing to happen in the world to you. It's like walking through the mall and everyone just stares at you calling you names. That's how I feel sometimes. I feel like I failed myself sometimes. But I've got to try to keep it together because life still goes on. I wake up every day wondering what will happen to me and will the worst happen or the good. This is really poorly written. I fuck up typing all the time because I type way too fast because of my ADHD. That's why I blame it on anyway. This is so badly written. I know I've disappointed my boyfriend. I thought it was his fiance. I'm getting whiplash from this. But I'm trying my best right now. Other people want to look at me funny and call me names. You're a predator. Well, you know one thing you can do is look in the mirror and ask if bullying is going to hurt me. I'm sure they can only hope. Stop holding my actions against me and let me deal with it, and don't judge me based on what you read. Stop holding my actions against me. This is worse than what Shane Dawson wrote for Dramageddon. The Welcome to the Circus soliloquy thing. What the fuck? Don't give me consequences to my actions. That should have just said. Oh my god. Okay, legal battles. Velez entered a guilty plea for 1 felony count of attempted risk of injury. However, he faced a second arrest in October 2019 for violating his probation. Despite being found not guilty, he was ordered to continue his probation. Velez encountered further legal trouble when he violated his probation again, leading to a conviction in September 2020. In January 2022, a violation of probation proceeding was indicated against Velez. As a result of violating his probation again, March 17th, 2023, that's this year, Velez received a sentence of 3 years in prison, suspending after serving 15 months following his prison term. He will be placed on probation for a period of 87 months. He broke his probation 4 or 5 times. I'm losing count. And he's back in prison. Oh, what a shame. It couldn't have happened to such a nice fucking manipulative piece of shit predator. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. Like I mentioned, I'm going to try and make sure to have at least one of these videos up a week. I'm going to try and post every Sunday-ish, depending on how I can get through editing. So if you want to make sure to see those videos, make sure to subscribe. Once I've finished this Hansen versus Predator investigation, I'm going to go back and do some of the OG Tcap ones. There's some very infamous predators from Tcap that we also need to react to. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!